Greetings, I am Shawn Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and I was not sure what to do for this show today. And then a little rumor came across of MakingStarWars.net, a little rumor involving Hayden Christensen. At this point, the only thing that we'd seen for Darth Vader in the new trilogy was this picture of a helmet in the Force Awakens teaser. But the wonderful people over at MakingStarWars.net got a hold of a couple little rumors. The first one is pretty simple. Darth Vader may pop up in Rogue One. This is something that a lot of people have been speculating for a long time, so it's not surprising. We know that we are in a timeline where Darth Vader is at his prime. Apparently Grand Moff Tarkin's going to appear in the Rogue One, so it's not surprising. That little tidbit, if it does happen, not surprising. The surprising bit is they got a little rumor that Hayden Christensen is training to prepare for Episode 8. Now, I don't know how true this rumor is. I personally am going to speculate it's more on the side of false. But let's have a little fun with this rumor. Let's have a little fun and try to figure out how Hayden Christensen would fit in Star Wars Episode 8. Now, obviously, the idea of Hayden Christensen being in new Star Wars is going to get people very angry. He's not liked in the Star Wars prequels, and there's not much to love about his performance in the prequels. That being said, I think there is reason to put him in the new trilogy if it works out. I don't think Anakin Skywalker would be coming back to life. While there may be grounds of a certain Sith Lord that might be in The Force Awakens, who has resurrecting and power over death, is in the movie, then maybe they could go along those lines, but I don't see that being what happens. I think that it's going to be along the lines of a Force Ghost or a flashback Now, my reasoning for the flashback is simple. We know that Luke Skywalker is on a remote location, not really going to be in The Force Awakens. There's a lot of thought process that he's going to be the Ben Kenobi or the Yoda of this trilogy, mentoring one of the characters, whether it be Finn or Rey. Still not entirely sure which character, or maybe one that we haven't even known in Episode 8, being that mentor, being that figure that's teaching the Force. And in the Clone Wars series, which I highly recommend you watch, they're fantastic, but near the end, in their final chapters, which is on Netflix, and I think it's been released on DVD and everything, there's a little saga where Yoda goes on a Force training mission where Qui-Gon appears to him as a voice and tells him to go learn, and that's where he ends up in Dagobah, which is a very Force-sensitive planet, and he sees a lot of things in the past. He sees the old Sith Lords, all the way back to the Old Republic. Some things from the Old Republic became canon in those episodes. As well as flashbacks to when Count Dooku was his apprentice and Qui-Gon was there and all the people were around. So my thought process maybe is that Luke Skywalker has a similar type of experience, potentially as he is growing in the Force, as he is learning that final step, which is the Force Ghost. That maybe there's a flashback to all the way back then, that using the Force, that he sees his father, which would be in his prime as a Jedi. So that would be very interesting to see if that happens, mainly because old Luke Skywalker looking at Hayden Christensen could be one of the strangest things we could ever see on cinema. But that could work. Also, it could just be a Force Ghost, like we saw in the digitally edited version of Return of the Jedi, where Hayden Christensen popped up. That could happen. But the reason I'm leaning towards flashback more than just a Force Ghost is the rumor talks about him needing to train and get back into, that Jedi shape. If he's just a Force Ghost, Hayden Christensen's a good-looking guy. He's not out of shape. It's not something that he could just stand around and do. If he's trying to get shape, that maybe means there's something to it. And since maybe Luke Skywalker is on a Force-sensitive planet, and there's a lot that's going on with it. It's very possible that maybe there will be some flashbacks to the past. If that's true, that's kind of interesting as where the story is going to go. Obviously, this is completely a rumor, so who knows? But it adds a lot of fun speculation, a lot of interesting wondering what they would do. Rian Johnson has a tough job to follow. J.J. Abrams, especially with The Force Awakens, is as good as everyone is hoping. And if it's as good, he may even have a little leeway as well, that fans would be more open to allowing some of the prequels to come in. Obviously, in The Force Awakens, they've been very... Hey, staying away from the prequels. We're not talking about the prequels. J.J. Abrams joked about, well, I can promise you there are no midichlorians in this. So there's a lot of those staying away from the prequels. But if it's as good and he brings the fan base back, you can then tie it back into the universe. Because the truth is, the prequel universe is a great universe that can be mined from. It's that the movies were not. So what do you guys think? Is the idea of Hayden Christensen touching this trilogy an abomination? Or are there those Hayden Christensen fans out there really excited to see maybe him under a good director coming back? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I am Shawn Rebman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and may the Force be with you. Always.